Howdy, howdy. This is a little series I like to call the First 30, where we take a look at the first 30 minutes of gameplay of new and upcoming games. Today we're taking a look at Horizon Zero Dawn Horizon Forbidden West. This is the sequel to Horizon Zero Dawn from 2017. Here you're looking at Aloy hanging out, trying to make her way to California, and look at her. She likes the snow. Look at that. She's looking at the snow. Anyway, this is a series where we take a look at in all fairness, it's supposed to be the literal first 30 minutes of gameplay of a game, but I recorded a video of the first 30 minutes of this game, and it was almost all cutscenes. It was a long tutorial. In fact, it was extremely long. It was probably about two and a half hours, most of which was just recapping the story from the first game, and sort of setting you up for whatever the narrative thrust for this game is going to be. I'm playing on a PS5. Needless to say, I'm very early on. I just got to the open world, and my guess is that I'm in a similar to a lot of the way these games work. Breath of the Wild did this, the original Horizon did this. I'm guessing that this part of where'd he go? I want that boar. There he is. Similar to the way that the first game was, and how Breath of the Wild was. Got him. Ah, shit. Haha. The camera's all messed up. So there's dinosaurs in this game. They're robots. I'm not getting out of this, am I? Alright, let's do it. I thought I was going to get a little bit of a reprieve here. Alright, this doesn't look good. This is not how I wanted to start the first 30. But hey, that's Horizon, I suppose. Shit. I'll get into the explanation of what the hell's going on here once I can take a second to breathe here. But hey, you know what? As far as the first 30 series is concerned, this is really more something for the... Oh, I killed a raccoon. Cool. This is something really more for the later series, where I'm a little bit further in and, you know, can talk more about the game with some understanding of it. I have no understanding of this game whatsoever. It may as well be the first 30 is ultimately what I'm saying, but we're starting off with a bang. Let's just get right into it. We're going to take a look at the beginning of this game. I'm not sure really exactly what's going on with the story. I'm not going to talk too much about the story of the first game, because the story in the original Horizon, and I'm certainly not the only one to think this, but the best part of Horizon Zero Dawn is the story. The level of world building that they do in the lore of sort of like what happened to our Earth and how it became this sort of, how it reverted to this primeval state, and like the mixture of early human anthropology stuff in the game with, you know, super futuristic, but not beyond our modern comprehension level of technology. It was really cool. All right, so this is I just found this new campsite. We'll go ahead and make that a fast travel point here, and it doesn't look like there's a crafting bench or anything here. So I might not have any fun stuff to do right this second. Oh, they're looking for me. All right, let's take a look at the map here and get a sense of where we're headed next. So this is the starting map. I just got dropped here recently, and you look out here, and my memory of the first game, I remember when I played the first game, I remember it was a similar setup to this, where you look at the blank parts of this map and you think like, oh, is that it? Is that it? Is that all? And then, you know, you have this area that I'm in, which is way, like, if you took this area and then you compared it to the rest of this entire map, you'd be like, okay, well, that's a small area, but surely this can't be the entire map. I mean, this map's supposed to be massive. It's supposed to be a huge open world. But this happened in the first game. I believe that is the full map. It may look small. It's not. It's enormous, especially considering the amount of detail that goes into the environments. So many of these open world games, you know, and even Breath of the Wild, which this game shares most of its similarities with, you know, that game is obviously very finely crafted in terms of like the world design, but it's mostly just a bunch of assets reused over and over again. They make it unique, to be sure. I'm not knocking that game, but the level of detail that this game goes into every square inch of stuff that you go through is pretty incredible. And to be clear, like, I've only explored just this little area right here. You start right here, and it's a pretty large section of stuff, and there's a lot of stuff to do and explore while you're in that. So I'm looking forward to getting into it, but I would like to push forward a little bit into the unknown here. And why don't we go ahead here for the first 30? Why don't we go ahead and make our way to our first town here? This is Chainscrape. And along the way, even though I'm sure I'll be passing by a lot of secrets and other things, I'll be able to explain sort of what this game's all about if you've never played it, and kind of what so far this sequel is doing maybe a little bit different. So I mentioned that I was playing on the PS5. It looks fantastic. It really does. And there's two modes for graphical fidelity. There is, and this has become pretty commonplace, there's the performance mode, and there is the and then the graphical mode. So one prioritizes the graphics and another prioritizes the frames per second. And I am playing in, actually I usually, a lot of the time nowadays with these games on the PS5, I'll play they got spooked. Oh fuck. A lot of times, games on the PS5, I've gotten used to, I've started to prefer, I've started to prefer, Nice. I've started to. Sorry, this is a living world, folks, and it's not hard to die. I've died a lot. Oh shit. Sorry, folks, I can't even catch my breath without this robo-deer giving me a hard time. Yeah, look at his buddy, ran off. Piece of shit. Excuse my language. Hey, I leveled up. I leveled up! Oh, look, his buddy, he just went behind the bushes and he's like checking it out. He wants to... Oh, he still wants some smoke. Alright, you can get smoke. I'll take that antler. I'll take that antler. Let's see how you like bombs. Or acid. Ah, that was pretty good actually. Ah, fuck. God damn it. Like I said before, it's not hard for stuff to go sideways. I wasn't even trying to engage these dinosaurs, man. It's frustrating, but I think... So I died a couple of times earlier, and I'm not 100% positive, but I think that even when you die... I think you keep your, you know, like the resources that you found. I think you keep. I don't know. I hope so. I hope to some degree you do, because it's happened a few times where I will be, you know, just moseying about, doing the thing, picking up stuff and leveling up and looking for secrets, you know, playing the video game the way God intended. And then, you know, you'll run into these dinosaurs, and the good thing about Horizon is that none of the enemies are easy. Like, you know, like, to be clear, like, some are harder than others. And as you level up and you power up and you increase your, you know, your weapons and all that stuff, it's all in there, but like, no encounter is the same. And that's really, you know, besides how good the story is in the first one, the real, you know, a lot of the real magic of Horizon comes from, ooh, stealth kill. A lot of the real magic of Horizon comes from these encounters, which are so, oh shit, those are like panthers. Stealth kill. Oh, this is perfect. Oh, and they're gonna come looking for me too. I'm gonna be able to get this one. Oh, this would be awesome. That'd be a lot of good resources. I wonder if I could sneak... Well, they got his buddies right there. I don't know if there's any way for me to like bait him. Oh wait, but I think he's starting to see me. Oh, he's like doing like a little recon. I'm picking him off one by one, dude. I bet I can sneak up on him. Yes! Hell yes. Oh, I bet I can sneak up on him too. They like can't see me. Oh, that's bullshit. Nice. Oh, shit. Of course there's one. So, when you're fighting these enemies, what you want to do, obviously you're dodging, you're doing all that stuff, but when I... You see when I... Oh shit, come on, don't die. When I scan the enemy, you'll see I can slow down time. They have those highlighted sections, nice! They have those highlighted sections that... Alright, is it over? Are they done? There's a lot of loot. I'm excited about this. I mean, this is the game, really. You know, if you came here to get a look at what playing Horizon is really like, that is exactly it right there. The last, 5 minutes. That encounter with those dinosaurs. And one thing that I do really like is that, and this is very similar to the first game, you see how I did the exact same thing twice. Ostensibly, I walked from that camp right over here to these dinosaurs. The same dinosaurs, they happen to be here because of the way the game was loaded at my checkpoint. They're constantly moving around. They're not always in the exact same spot or anything, but that's a great example of how, I walk over here this first time and, stuff goes sideways. You kind of lose control of the situation a little bit, a lot of the time. There's a lot of loot. It's making me very excited. To be clear, you don't usually kill this many dinos all at once. Oh, that was good. But it gives you a sense of sort of the emergent gameplay of it all, where, the whole thing with Horizon is that the combat is... I feel weird calling it so nuanced, but I guess it is. It's not for everybody, but it's just the enemies are behaving like animals to a certain extent, or to a large extent. And, they have behavior patterns, and there's certain things that can trick certain animals, and eventually, once you kind of figure out all the different animals, you figure out their tricks, and you're like, the deer are really easy to sneak up on, and the panthers are susceptible to blank this or that, or you eventually start to learn their tricks, but like every encounter is always different, and that last bit was a good showcase for that. So now that I have a second to breathe, I'll try to explain, because you've seen it now, but basically when you come into these when you come up on these dinosaurs, they there's always the opportunity to try to sneak your way up to them. Once they are alerted to you, they can let their buddies know, that you're there, and that's kind of what happened in that last run where I died, where once the robots, they figure out sort of what you're on about, and they know you're there, especially if you're dealing with multiple you know, animals of the same kind, they'll like let their own people know. Like if you're coming up on a herd of robo deer, they will alert their fellow robo deers like, hey, you know, bad news in town, get out of here, or come attack them. If we all gang up on her, we could probably take her, which is exactly what happened. I think, in fact, in that last case, I got killed by that robo deer. I'm pretty sure that was like a that was like an alpha robo deer. And so every now and again, you'll, just like in the real Animal Kingdom, you'll have like one of the animals will be like the alpha, and he'll be bigger and stronger. So there's a lot to break down, I guess, in this game. I guess I should pause for just a second to give a sense of the story. Not the story, so to speak, from the first game, but just kind of like what's going on here without giving anything away. Basically, the idea of the first game is that Earth is now living in this sort of primeval kind of situation where, as you can see here with Aloy, she's kind of wearing what I guess we would attribute to like cavemen times, you know, like 10,000 BC. That short period of time on planet Earth where human beings and dinosaurs coexisted, you know, woolly mammoths and saber-toothed tigers and all that. So that's like the aesthetic of this game, but obviously the interesting thing is that even though the human beings are living in, you know, 10,000 BC times, and it's the distant future, it's like the year 3000, I want to say, there are all of these remnants of our world, and you can see them here. Like, you can see here this rusted, like, banister, you know, this gate that once, you know, was up against this cliff by this pond. There's all these, and it gets way more, you know, intense than this. Like, the Golden Gate Bridge is in this game at some point. I'm super jacked for that moment. Because the game does take place, the Forbidden West, obviously, is California, it's Utah, Nevada. But there's all these remnants from our world that are, like, rusted over, grown over, and, you know, the people in this nowadays, they don't remember anything about our world. So they have no recollection that, oh, well, humanity once was really technologically advanced, but we like fucked it up, and now we've regressed back to like the beginning times. But again, without getting too into it, like Aloy here is sort of like a missing link between those two worlds. And the robo dinosaurs were sort of, they were created by the last living humans of our time. Technically, like, that's basically how it happened. I don't want to get into the story, but the whole first game deals with you figuring out who you are as Aloy, your connection to the modern world and this new world, and, you know, trying to figure out this apocalyptic situation that was set in motion by our time, our people. And now in the sequel, it takes place right after, and Aloy is, you know, she saved the day the first time. She beat, you know, the big boss and prevented the apocalypse, made a ton of friends along the way and all that jazz. But this one starts off right after the events of the first game, where she is made aware that, and I hate this setup for the story, so I'm really hoping they go somewhere interesting with it, but it's basically the old thing where, you know, there's a relative peace for a couple months, and then all of a sudden, you know, she starts to notice that, hey, you know, I've noticed that the corruption is back. Like, I thought we destroyed the Dark Lord, or it's not a Dark Lord to be clear, but you know what I mean. Like, I thought we won. You know, like, how come this stuff is still here? And it's basically brought to her attention that it ain't over quite yet. Fuck. So you gotta craft on the fly like this, which honestly I like as a system. I remember it being pretty annoying in the first game. Oh shit, his friend. I had him until his friend showed up. Ah, fuck. That hits hard. Yeah, so these enemies are doing damage. But I think they're weak to ice. Yeah, they're weak to ice. You're done, son. Ah, damn it. Nice. And so, like, besides shooting off their glowing parts, nice. I can finish them off. I can finish them off if I get there. Yes. There's a lot in here. So besides shooting the glowing parts, you know, besides doing a lot of damage and stunning the, you know, the dinosaurs and all that, besides being useful for that, it also is something that you need to do to grab certain crafting components that will mostly upgrade your armor and your weapons. The further you go along in the upgrade tree for your weapons and your armor and, you know, stuff like that, the more that you will require those parts from the animals. And the only, like, for example, this right here. So I shot this off of that robo deer, and obviously it takes a little more. You can't just like kill as many deer as you want and then get the parts. You have to specifically shoot off their horns or their this or their that. And if you kill the animal before like separating that specific part that you're looking for them, then you can't grab it later. There's also like biological animals. You can see I just killed this boar. So obviously there's these like robotic, you know, robot dinosaur primeval, you know. Early on in the game, it's a lot of like deer and saber-tooths are like the big ones for now. And in the last game, you start off with a lot of like, you know, mammal robots, and then eventually you start finding raptors, which are a pain, and then you get into like T-Rex territory, and there's a really cool boss battle in the tutorial section with a giant robotic, and by giant I mean like massive, robotic cobra, which is really cool. And like, even though before I played the first one, I was always sort of like, oh, well, that's, you know, you see footage of the animals in this game and the dinosaurs and all that, and even just seeing footage of it I feel like pretty much anybody comes to the conclusion of, wow, that looks pretty cool. Like, obviously that is, you know, pretty cool. Like, it doesn't need to be explained how these dinosaurs are cool. But then once you also are able to couch it in, so you do have a melee attack too, by the way. But once you understand the full story of like why these robot dinosaurs exist in the first place, it makes it so much better. But again, I refuse to give away all the details of the first game because, like I said, it's one of my favorite. And this sounds like hyperbole, and I'm accused of that all the time, even though it's not true. But I do mean it when I say that the original Horizon Zero Dawn has one of my favorite narrative experiences of a video game ever, of all time. And I'm certainly not alone in that opinion. Like, discovering the mystery of it all. So this is something that's new in this game from the first one. In the first game, I think I'm about to, can I get up? Is there? Okay, thank God. Secret cave, baby. So in the first game, there is no swimming. And so this is sort of a new thing here. I don't know, is this deeper into the cave or is this the way out? So this is definitely deeper into the cave, but see what I mean, man? Like, this cave is extremely well detailed. Why is she like, why is there that like ghosting effect? Am I like cold or something? That's weird. But yeah, you know, oh, that's rare. Nice. The attention to detail in the design of the world. And to be clear, a world that is very large in its own right. But the level of detail for even stuff like this, which is just like, you know, this is just a side thing, you know? Who is this? Poor guy. Like, this is just a side cave, you know? This isn't part of the story. This is not necessary. This is... They do a lot to reward players for not just running down the path. And that's, you know, that's the thing that Breath of the Wild did better than any game ever. And this game, honestly, this game is a little bit underrated for what it does in that regard too. The first one, I mean, I'm assuming that this, you know, I'm assuming that this game is basically the same but more. You know, that's sort of what I haven't read any reviews about Horizon or anything like that, so I don't really know I haven't read anyone's final take, and I don't know what to expect. It's all a surprise to me. But some of the headlines and some of the banter, just the general bants on, you know, some of the podcasts I listen to and all that. Oh shit. All seem to suggest that's gonna be my first major complaint in just a second here once I finish my thought. All of the original sort of hot quick takes that I've seen about the game is that it is the exact same game as the first Horizon. Like there's no major difference. Like this game doesn't do anything so wildly different than the first, which honestly, you know, people nowadays, people are getting real bent out of, where the heck am I? Man, I got a ways to go. Oh, so I could actually, so wait, so, oh, okay, so I actually was over here, and then I swam all the way back over here. That's cool. But kind of put me back. Oh, let's see. Okay, let's get to the town. We've been going for about 40 minutes or so. Ah, shit. I think his buddy is here. So you got to be able to. So my first perk that I always level up, or at least that I leveled up in the last game, and it's the first couple I leveled up in this one too, and should be able to get to a campsite in a minute, because I've got a ton of resources that I want to craft into new stuff and upgrade everything. But it's really important to, in my opinion, upgrade your slowdown. It's called concentration, but that's, you know, where I zoom in and I can click the right stick and slow down time, and it's, you know, it's absolutely necessary, especially considering that the whole thing with the game is hitting very specific parts and limbs. Nice. Hitting very specific limbs and parts on these dinosaurs. Like, you need to be able to have that precision, and there's a really good progression to that slowdown system, so that you can't really abuse it. You'll also notice as I'm walking around, you're just, and this is almost maybe to a fault, and it was the same way in the first game too, but you are just constantly having to pick up resources. So like these blue medicinal herbs, grapple hook, the blue medicinal herbs, and especially the sticks to craft your arrows. Like, you have to, oh, there's the campsite. You have to pick them up all the time. And it's not, I'm not saying it's annoying. It's not annoying to have to do that. Like, because you're picking up so many, and you know, you're getting rewards all the time for, like, you know, walking around and you see a little bit, and then it's like, oh yeah, get a new one of these, and eventually towards not too far into the game, you start to, the amounts of materials that you need to upgrade stuff gets like ridiculous. So it's like, oh, you need 400 of these sticks to you need like 400 of these sticks to, you know, get your thing, upgrade your bow or whatever. And it can be, and then you start having to, you know, really hone in on picking it up. Okay, so I don't think there's actually a crafting bench here, so let's see. All right, we're gonna go ahead and make a beeline here for our first town in the game, which is what is it? Chain Scrape. So let's make a beeline here in this. We got about 15 minutes or so left here. Let's make a beeline for that, so I can at least get a sense of what that is all about. I'm curious because there's a section in the tutorial, the prologue. Okay, well, Road, this would be a good time to show you the climbing in the game, which there's actually quite a lot of. We just haven't run up on any spots. So when I do my scan there, you can see those yellow lines. Those are all climb points. And it ends up feeling a little bit like Breath of the Wild here as I like climb my way up this cliff face. And then there are certain parts where you have to kind of like do like the cliffhanger thing where you like jump from one thing to another like that. And you can see that I'm following the yellow lines here, which I would. You've also got a grapple thing there that you can do from time to time. Ooh, a signal tower. Okay, well, look, this is the game, isn't it? Let's see if we can get to the top of this signal tower. Damn, this game's beautiful, man. Like, look at this. Like, the way the moss is just like covering the stone, but it's only right here, you know? As far as I can tell, and I'm...
I don't think I can get past them. I should leave it for now.
I'm trying to remember the first game in terms of the weather and the day-night. I don't remember there being like a weather system or like a day-night. You can see like these yellow sections are what you're able to climb and jump from. And it's all automatic for the most part. Like there's not in terms of like the platforming and the climbing, there's not really a lot of precision per se. In fact, it's just the opposite. And I'd go so far as to say, and this was kind of a problem in the first game too, but I feel like in the first game it wasn't that big of a deal. Wait, okay, there you go. This is exactly what I'm talking about. So I'm not on a wall. I'm just kind of like standing here, and stop. So I'm trying to finish the climb, right? Like, okay, perfect example. Like, you see, it can be really, really finicky. Whenever it's smooth, it's gorgeous and it looks great, and it's like the animations are crazy. because you know they're all different, and you're just like you're climbing up this mountain, and it feels good and it looks good, and that's awesome. But like, it's so finicky. Like you just saw it there, where it happens all the time, and this wasn't in the last game.
Let's do it later.
Nice, a lens of mourning. I already found one earlier too. And it was like this in the first game too. Like the climbing was a little bit finicky, but to be honest, there wasn't really that much of it. And just from the first couple of hours of this game, damn, this game looks really, really good. Damn. But just from like the first couple of hours, oh, there's the town. There it is. Oh, and we can rappel down. We're almost there, folks. What a perfect little transition here. I hear you can get a glider eventually. Didn't have that in the first game neither. Anyway, but the finickiness of the climbing is a huge pain, man. Like, I've had some real struggles just in the first couple of hours where I'm like, I'm trying to tell Aloy to jump where I want her to jump, and she just won't do it. Or she'll just jump off of the cliff and then fall to her death, and then I have to do the whole thing again, and I'm just like, dude, what the hell? Because like, all of it is automatic. So like, all you need to do is just jump in the direction of the yellow, markers, and then she'll grab onto it on her own. But the problem is that it's so, it doesn't always just recognize what you're trying to do, and it can be a real pain. All right, let's go see what's going on with the town, because there's quite a few towns in the first game. There's one big city that you go to. But one of the things that I'm really interested to see in a second is the fact that in the tutorial section, you like briefly revisit the main city from the first game. Just as sort of like a way of like wrapping up the story, and for Aloy to be like, oh, it turns out, the evil that plagues our land, so to speak, we thought we killed it, but it's actually not dead. There's more work to be done. I found this relic that adds a new wrinkle to the story that she's like gotta have to investigate, all that good stuff. But like, is that a rock or a boar? That's a rock. But you're briefly in the main city part of it in the tutorial section, and
Drew said I could get my bow upgraded in there.
ooh, upgrade my bow.
I'd be able to tinker with my other gear too.
Oh, I want to tinker. I'm a tinkerer. Anyway, long story short, I'm in that tutorial section. There was way more done in this game than the first one with the NPCs. The NPCs were they just were way more alive and doing stuff than in the first game. So I'm really interested to see. Okay, Barren Light is that way. That's the next. That's like the main place I need to go here. Okay, let's check out this town, and then.
Is that the savior?
Is that the savior?
The savior?
Yes.
Welcome to Tuesday.
Oh, good. You'll get to see some of the story stuff.
Door service.
Good enough for me.
Cutscenes so far have been very good. Animations are good. The writing is solid. very reminiscent of the first.
By the Forge.
Some of it's a little hokey.
Aloy, what are you doing here?
I'm on a quest.
About time there was something worth looking at in this dump.
Ooh.
And not a moment too soon. Come on. Damn brewery's the only thing I can count on in this place.
Those gentlemen are drunk.
Machines, work stoppage. No, those are just the latest malfunctions. Chain Scrape's always been a few tools short of the kit. Right there is the biggest tool of all.
Not our fault. The bristlebacks are everybody.
Remember that woman from the first game.
Yeah.
Am I supposed to?
It's a story. Best told over a cold beer.
Uh-oh.
Petra.
Let's get a beer.
I'm just passing through.
Ah, come on. Come on.
There's an embassy at Barren Lake I need to make happen, and then
You can find dinosaurs for like a week.
of course. Bigger gears to grind. A little flame here. Good to see you. Gotta move on. Petra. But if you want a cold beer and a few laughs with an old friend, come find me at the brewery. Your choice.
I say we go to the brewery. I feel like we've earned it. So it seems like
Sounds like trouble. Maybe Petra could use some support. But first things first, I need to find that workbench and upgrade my bow.
and this is common, I feel like, in these types of games. Alright, let's see what we got here. People, it's common in these types of games, right, where the first game is all about the hero Aloy here, and it's the same here. It's a chosen one, you know, Lord of the Rings, Dune, fantasy stuff. She's a chosen one, and she's got powers that no one else does, and she's just a nobody. In fact, at the start, she's less than a nobody. She's like in exile for reasons that oh yeah, she doesn't have a mother, and that's part of the story too, but she's like the lowest of the low, and the whole first game, her character development and her personal narrative is, you know, proving herself to herself, finding out exactly who is she in this world, where does she fit in, and then once she realizes that she's like in this position to be a savior, she kind of begrudgingly, no, I wouldn't even say begrudgingly, she accepts the role of it, but she's not known for that, and then eventually, you know, she saves the day, she saves the world, and becomes this giant hero. And in the beginning of this game, they build a statue to her, and so it's becoming clear that her personal narrative in this game is what you've already seen in that last cutscene, where she's famous throughout the lands. Everyone knows about the girl with the red hair, Aloy, the savior of blah blah blah, and she's got all these mysterious powers or whatever else. And it seems clear that the whole thing is going to be, now she's like begrudgingly trying to finish her mission while everyone fawns over her and treats her like a savior, literally calling her that. And you know, she just kind of,
We almost died because of it.
she doesn't really like the attention now. It's kind of a bitch, in all honesty, so far in the game. But I can say with confidence, because we got to wrap it up here for this episode of the first 30 Horizon Forbidden West. I can definitely say that. What's wrong with that pig? Oh, they're just chilling. They're just hanging out.
I need him to make this right. We will. Don't worry.
I can definitely say that there's definitely more life in the NPCs in the towns. Like they're walking around more, they're doing more, they're talking more. It's a beautiful game. Truly is. I'm really excited. I'll be back with more coverage of the game later when I'm a bit further on to talk more about the ins and outs specifics of it. But thank you for watching. This is the first 30.
Just leave it be. Go back to the clan.
We're not leaving till Ogun pays the damage he's done.
Yeah,
All of you stay
you
away
said
from
it, brother. That'll do it. Thanks for watching.